And now, our feature presentation.
Okay, let's ruin today's episode right off the bat with a joke. Okay, and I really don't want you to look too far into this, Eric, because you will really look too far into this, and I don't want anything putting us off on a bad note. Okay, and you know exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you the opening part of the joke. Okay, what president never did anything wrong?
You are right. I see where you were going with that.
So what president never did anything wrong?
I'm gonna go with none of them.
No, there was one. There was one. Abraham Lincoln. He was innocent.
Oh God. All right, this podcast is over. I'm leaving.
Get it?
I quit.
Innocent.
I quit.
Abraham Lincoln's face is in our currency of the 1 cent.
I'm grabbing my gun and I am exiting this life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of It Sure Is a Podcast. If you stayed, you are really a person of pure will and determination after that joke.
Yeah, but
I think I ruined Eric's day with that.
No, to be fair,
I mean,
I'm about to ruin yours, so it's okay. I have a confession to make.
Oh no.
I think I have a problem.
What's your problem?
I think I have.
Wait, hold on. Before do you need a comfort copy of Anarchy Reigns to help you through this time?
What?
Do you need?
What do you have like 4 of them?
Here, take a comfort. Wait, is there a disc in this one? Yes, this isn't the one I'm playing. Here, take a copy of Anarchy Reigns as a comfort during this.
I don't think I've ever even. Is this just a multiplayer?
No, there's a single player. These 2 are sealed. This one doesn't have the disc because I'm playing it.
How?
All right, tell me what you were going to tell me.
Okay, sidetracked me. Now I guess I have to go on living for a little bit to A, to play this, and B, to find out why you have 4 of them. But
Wait, no, you're not playing. You get your own. These are mine. You're like, you have 4 copies of Anarchy Reigns and you can't let me borrow one?
Well, I assumed I would like go to your house and we would play it or something, but
all right, what was the big thing we're going to do?
I think I have an addiction problem.
To what?
I bought Skyrim again.
I mean, this isn't surprising, but it is a little surprising. So
I bought the anniversary edition for the PS4 because it was $20 on sale, so I bought it because it had new weapons and quests and armor, and I was like, I want them.
Also, fishing. I think fishing's the one new thing.
Yeah, there's fishing in there, but I don't give a crap about that.
What I'm upset about is there's the anniversary edition, but they never sent it to Switch, so I can't fish in Switch Skyrim.
I wanted to get it for the Switch, but it was on sale because I was like, yeah, I really want to do that, but I was like, but I'm not paying like $40 for the upgrade or whatever, and
oh yeah,
then it was
for Switch. Yeah.
It was on sale for $20 on the PS4, so I was like, oh, I fucking hate you, Todd Howard. Take my money.
It's the comfort game. You have your comfort game.
But there's new weapons and armor, and I'm like, I gotta do it.
You gotta do it because that's your comfort game.
They brought back Madness and Amber armor.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you plebe! You never played it. You never beat Oblivion. It's in the Shivering Isles.
Oh gosh, no. Now I have played the Shivering Isles.
Oh,
DLC,
you have?
But like,
best DLC of all time of anything, anywhere, ever.
It really feels like it is a really wacky, weird Dungeons and Dragons like campaign.
It's supposed to be. That's what's so.
The DM, not your boss. Your DM just like smoked a bunch and was like, "All right, in a time before dragons smoked," and you're just like. Oh, this is like, I remember the one quest where you find a guy and he's like, oh my gosh, if I sleep inside this building, it's going to collapse on me. I need to find somewhere else to sleep. And then you find another guy. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping outside. I need to be sleeping inside because a meteor could hit me.
Yeah, and you just have them swap.
Yeah, that's all you do.
Do you find the one where the guy wants to die, but he doesn't want to see it coming, so you have to kill him?
No,
There's literally, if you do it, don't just attack him. There's a point where if you follow him around, he stands on a ledge at one point, on one of the giant steps. You can go up and there's an option to push him off.
Awesome.
It's the Shivering Isles is like the greatest DLC I think I have ever played. It is so much fun.
I distinctly remember watching my friend play that when I was a kid, and like I have Oblivion on PC, and I'm just kind of exploring it because there's mods and everything, and I'm learning how to put mods into the game, right? Just for it to run at all. Because without mods, honestly, it's a crapshoot on like it's gonna run fine or your computer's just not gonna like it.
Oh, it was like that on the console too.
Yeah.
I could play it for 12 hours and it'd be fine. Another time I played for an hour and it would crash and I would be like, what?
Yeah. That is exactly it.
But that was part of the charm.
And I kind of boosted my levels up just a bit, just so I can just go wander around because I remember the Shivering Isle. That was like the coolest thing I thought when I was watching it.
You get to become a mad god in the end. Like you literally get to, in the Shivering Isles, you get a spell, you cast it, you can't die. If you die, you just appear back at the palace.
Huh.
If you beat like the main quest line and stuff. It was just
wild.
It's so cool.
Oh. So yeah, you've fed into your addiction, but it's your comfort game, and there's nothing wrong with that because we're a place of safety and peace, and you can fish now.
Yeah, the other problem now though is I don't know what weapon and armor I want to use, so I'm back to square one. I was like, oh,
with your indecision, and I just play Oblivion, running around punching everything.
I'm now, yeah, I'm going back through. I'm like, do I want to do light armor or heavy armor now? Because like, heavy armor is just heavy armor. It's awesome, but they got amber armor, so
yeah, you're so slow. That's the downside of heavy armor.
Yeah, I mean, if you level it up, you get the perks. You're good.
But yes, I'm glad you had one of 4 copies of Anarchy Reigns.
I never played this game, and it looks.
It's stupid. It's very stupid. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's kind of like one of those really cheesy anime narratives, but like the narrative's dark, but like everyone's just a goofball, but not really. It's like they take things way too seriously in such a dumb, stupid world, if that makes sense. And I have 4 copies of it. Now, if you scroll on to the It Sure Is a Podcast TikTok, you'll see many videos of me obtaining all these.
I don't have a TikTok, but I'm truly.
That's for the little the younger folks. That's the TikToks for them.
Were you like in an altered state of mind at a store, and you were just like, "I'm buying 4 of these"?
No. So this one I found in our local used game store. That one also was purchased a week later. These 2. I found in copy, unopened, on eBay for $10 each. And I've ordered 2 more, probably in the same state as that one.
What? Just because?
Just because. Because I have adult money, and I can do stupid things with my adult money, and I don't care what anyone says.
I can't wait. You're going to bring a girl home, and she's going to be so into you, and then she's going to walk by, and she's going to see like 14 copies of Anarchy Reigns, and she's just going to be like, peace.
Heading out.
Or she'll be like, I can't wait to marry you.
All right, so the 4, 5, 10 copies of Anarchy Reigns. Okay, we're working with that, but also we're working with the hundreds of amiibo I own, all of the Borderlands action figures, the Mad Moxie statue, all of the Titanfall Titans, like the robots, a figure of Jack Cooper from Titanfall, the variety of goofy anime or video game metal posters I have, the picture of George Costanza in his underwear posing on a pastrami sandwich. All right,
that can't be real.
I have that. I can show you a picture.
That can't be real.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
Yeah, all right. I'll show it to you it's actually on the TikTok also. It's right above my desk. I'll show you.
Is it photoshopped or did he actually I shouldn't
say
No. I believe you have it.
Okay,
I don't believe that that's a real
there's
photo.
an artist that makes paintings, and they're called celebrities on sandwiches. And it's just a sandwich and the celebrities on it. So George Costanza is doing that sexy pose on a pastrami sandwich. So
I don't know what world we live in where that's a viable thing and a niche for an audience, and I don't know if that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, or if we should all just jump off a cliff right now.
well, last I checked in on the site of the person who sells it, there have been more celebrities and more sandwiches added.
Oh, I assume it's probably a very
It's lucrative for
lucrative.
that person. Yeah. So yeah, if none of those turn her off and have her leave, the 10 copies of Anarchy Reigns is going to be.
Actually, if you throw all of that together, they'll probably walk in and be like, "You're amazing," and then you guys will just get married the next day.
You're amazing, or they run out screaming at the
Or
top of
the-
their lungs.
Or there is a middle ground. They might be like, "Dude, you're gonna be fun for a night, but I'm getting the hell out of here in the morning."
And then I just shrug and like, okay.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Copies of Anarchy Reigns is so cheap, and it was like one of my favorite games on the Xbox 360. This was the one that was the brawler that had multiplayer. That like for the first few days was people were on, and then after that everyone quit because it was so buggy and bad. Yeah. It just
Oh, no.
like the connection, just the bandwidth, all that internet stuff
Oh.
was so bad.
That was kind of like Dark Alliance. I think everybody was all excited. A bunch of people played it, hated it. The connection was terrible, and then they're like, "All right, we're not doing this anymore."
Right. Like the single player for this is just goofy. Because I told in our Xbox episode, I was talking about this is the game where the guy, the big buffy man with the chainsaw, Jack
Yeah.
Kamen, he his adopted daughter was killed by the guy you're chasing, and the daughter of the guy you're chasing hires him to go get her father. And he's like, you know, this is the guy that killed my daughter, right? And she's like, you're the best of the best. I know you can do it.
But he's gonna kill him.
It's a very interesting narrative, and there's two sides of it. There's the white side and the black side. I don't know why they called it that. Don't at me, because it's yeah.
I was about to ask you. I was like, "Do you mean
no?
That's what it's actually labeled in the game."
Yes. Yes.
Oof.
Yeah, and you play as the other character who are like these.
Let's just
like,
see what year this came out.
Laser blade. These were good old fashioned laser blade like cop robots.
This is almost 20 years old. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, what date did you find?
94 to 2000.
No, 94 is when the company was established, so you can't just.
2004.
2004 thing. Okay, I'm about to say.
Confidential unpublished work, 1999 to 2004.
All right, 2004. Okay, that makes more sense. When you said 94, I'm like, no.
I'm sorry, 99 to 2004. I screwed that up. But still, that's almost 20 years ago.
Almost 20 years. And this was published by Sega. Yeah.
I can't believe, is Sega even still around?
Yeah, they're still around. They're still doing stuff.
I think they're just kind of coasting on all their old games, and they just keep making arcade, like, here's 40,000 Sega games on the latest console.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
There's probably like two guys working there who just keep updating them.
Yeah, there's only two guys at this point working at Sega. I don't know. Sega's in a weird spot, but we're not talking about Sega today. We're talking about, I'm screwing some stuff over just because it's in my personal space.
That's fine. Punch it in its face. It needs to have more respect.
Yeah, its face.
I have one more thing though too.
You look around.
I need
like
to make sure that.
It?
Yeah, I have to. I bought Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance too.
Have you been playing it?
I have. I love it.
Has it been good?
I have. I'm playing as the Dwarven Rogue, and it's just a blast.
The Dwarven Rogue.
Yeah,
right, it's good.
So I just sit there like a noob and just shoot with his crossbow. I'm having so much fun.
I gotta look into that, but I have other games I'm playing right now that I need to finish. Definitely the one I'm playing right now, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm not playing anything else until I finish that because it's so good.
I now have 4 games I am currently in the middle of. Mass Effect, well, now I'm on 3. No Man's Sky, Baldur's Gate, and Skyrim.
Yes.
I think there's probably like 4 other random ones scattered in there. Yeah, Jedi Knight, Jedi Knight 2, Doom.
It's just a plethora of games.
Republic Commando.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a million games started, but
a lot of Star Wars in there. A lot of Star Wars. But I am happy to announce that we have Indie for the Windy, little indie segment.
Woo! Indie for the Windy.
What up, Indies? Okay. So I was perusing Kickstarter. I like to peruse it. It's not as big as a thing as it was when Kickstarter first became a thing, but there's still people trying to make their dreams happen. And on the
Dreams have no place in this world
no, in this
unless they
podcast,
turn
no
to
dreams.
nightmares.
That is also true. Yes. Do you want to take a second and sit in like the timeout corner? Are you good? What if we had a corner in here where just like a dunce cap
I
and
just
a
need a
little
damn day
stool?
off. I'm so tired.
I'm
Yeah,
so I'm so tired that it just makes me negative, which I can understand that.
it actually I've been in a funk. I need to do something to get out of it. But
I have also been in a funk, and I was talking to someone about it, and I'm like, it just happens. There's nothing that goes on. Just, I think, just my brain, just like, you've been running on high for way too long, and now we're just gonna go run low for a little while. And I'm like, that's fine. I know it only happens for a week, then things start turning around. But indies, indies, indies,
yeah,
you,
stay
you got me
focused. Stay
distracted.
focused.
All right, so the one I picked up on, and I put all these on the Twitter, like links to it. So if you're like, oh man, I forgot what it was called because I'm kind of stupid, born with that terminal illness of being dumb,
Hey man,
um,
I'm sitting right here.
you can always look up on the Twitter, just It Sure Is a Podcast Twitter. I put the links there, except for the last one. I got to put that up, but they'll be there by the time this goes live. So let's start with the first one, Pizzamon.
Is it what it
Pizzamon.
sounds like?
Yeah, it's like a retro Pokemon game, but all your monsters,
A
a
pizza?
pizza, you make them.
That actually sounds kind of cool.
Like, and it's
Because
got
pizza is just everything. So
pizza is the best. Like, it's pizza's kind of like sex. You can have bad sex, but sex is still sex. You can have a bad pizza, but pizza's still pizza. Like, it's still tasty.
that is the greatest analogy I think I've ever heard.
That's pizza in a nutshell. It really is. So it has 30 days to go. The creators are from Vancouver, Canada, and it's Schmelly Orc Games. That's their little studio. It just looks fun. It's very simple. It's not crazy, but the designs are kind of cool because there's like one that's just a mushroom sticking out of the middle of a pizza and it just has eyes. There's some other creatures and monsters that are just like they look like Pokemon, and at some point the guy's like, "We got to put a pizza on there somewhere." So just like roll up a pizza and put it on its back or something.
It's hilarious.
There is one that is it's like some kind of rabbit, and they just rolled up a pizza and it's sticking over his shoulder, and that's it. And I don't know. It seemed very charming. There were some things that they put in there, different elements like treasure maps and daily things where you just do these little like, all right, go to this place and do this, and then you get the next step, and then you get a big reward. I don't know. It was charming. It
Did it
looked cool.
did it look like the original Pokemon? Like that
Uh,
8-bit style?
yeah, just a little, probably closer to 16-bit. Not quite though. It's like
That was the Pokemon games that I liked.
because
So
they were simple, and like
yeah.
the new Pokemon games, they just had a whole
They're like,
new.
it's open world. And I'm like, guys, I like open world, but every once in a while, just give me a damn path. All I want to do is catch Pokemon and fight people.
It was just like I mean, in Sword and Shield there was the open area, but there were paths. But yeah, the new one is all open world, which they recently had a thing for, which it looks cool. Well, for me, like I said with the pizza, Pokemon for me is like sex, But even though it's bad sex, it's just sex. Even though it's a bad Pokemon game, it's still Pokemon. I'm gonna get that little bit of dopamine out of it, like, ah. So yeah, that one, 30 days ago, it's almost halfway to its goal. If you're interested in that, go check it out. Exit Veil, Occult and Terra Art JRPG. This is from Cherry Mochi Game Studio out in Tokyo, Japan. And it is kind of one of those games that, how do I put it? It's like you explore in third person this really creepy world and creepy environment, but whenever something happens, like the main gameplay hook is like a card game, like a digital card building game, if that makes sense.
A little bit.
Yeah, and all the visuals are just really crazy and psychedelic, and I don't know. It's just one of those things you have to go look and see for yourself.
So it's exploration, but it's a card game.
Yeah, so like it's exploration. So when you wander around and then you like encounter some kind of machine or some kind of monster, and it's like the card game is set up within the world. So it's not like, oh, I'm gonna fight this monster and it's just an excuse to have it. No, like narratively within the world, it makes sense that you're using these cards. If that makes sense.
That actually sounds kind of cool. There's a Kingdom Hearts game like that a little bit.
That was the Chain of Memories.
Yeah, I hated it at first, but by the end, I was like, this is kind of a cool mechanic.
Because all your attacks were just you were using cards and you build
Yeah,
decks and then you would cycle through them. Yeah, I don't know that Kingdom Hearts. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan at all, but that one, I don't know why. I think just I like the mechanic of like the deck building and stuff like that.
I did. It was hard at first, but yeah, like you said, it was very. Once you got used to it, that
Yeah,
one that one sounds kind of cool. I haven't been a whole lot of games like that. I mean, I played the ever living crap out of Gwent
in The Witcher 3.
yeah, in The Witcher 3. I
Yeah,
love that game.
yeah. I always thought it would be cool to have a game very much like The Witcher, like that kind of world, but all you do is wander towns and just like battle people in a card game.
Make money and
Like
try to up
like
your
one,
status.
yeah, like you're not like fighting monsters and stuff. You could even just be in the Witcher world and you're just running around playing Gwent against people. So you like travel town to town. It's not as
Gosh, they should
easy.
make just a quick indie side game where you're doing that, but then in the background you see Geralt come in and he's just like a normal person. He's just jumping around and then
Just
like
doing all that
breaking stuff.
ridiculous
Yeah,
stuff.
and you're just like, that dude had way too much ale, and then you just go back to playing your game.
Yeah, exactly. You keep playing Gwent. Oh, I know in The Witcher 3, to just be able to get good at Gwent in that game, you have to go around and collect all the cards. Because at first
I
you
got that achievement. I found every Gwent card.
did you.
Yes.
I'm working on that right now, and it is like I know where they are. But it's just you have to go get them. Then you have to go usually battle for them. Every character is a special card, and if that character hangs himself because he's really sad, you can't get his card. But I'm like I could just go through his pockets and pop out a card, but
Yeah.
no.
Well, there was one I had to buy, and it was in some little backwoods town, and it took me
Yes,
forever to find. I had to go little town to town to town. I finally got it, but
and you were like. The final card! You like raise over your head. Legend of Zelda. Da, 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 da.
yeah.
All right, final game on the list here is the chicken game, and its goal is $500. Very simple. It's the guy only wants money to just be able to distribute it. I hope I said this right. It's by Trevor De Podesta. I hope I said that right, or I'm going to be really so.
Yeah,
Apologies. From San Diego, California. 500's a goal. It's at 441 as of recording this episode. And I've been keeping an eye on it. It has 14 days to go. The exit veil, that one's already funded, but it looks really cool. So I'm like, I just want to throw it out there. Yeah, the chicken game. I really I want to kind of see that happen. All it is just, it's like a chicken farm sim. That's it. And it's
kind of like
real.
not Harvest Moon. The uh crap. I'm having a brain fart.
Are you talking like the other Harvest Moon, like Story Seasons?
Yes,
You're
Story of
talking,
Seasons.
um,
But just
it's
specifically like
just it's
chicken.
only chickens, and it's not like a game where you are an avatar, a character running around the world. It's just you start out with chickens and you make a coop. A lot of it is about genetics and like making different kinds of chickens with different patterns and stuff. But it's really like laid back.
Can you make crazy chickens?
Oh yeah, like different colors and everything, and
I
then
mean,
there's
like
different.
Godzilla chicken?
Oh, that I don't know.
That would be hilarious. You just have like 17-foot tall
But
chickens
if
running around.
it has to be some element like that because there were so many different chickens and it's all pixelated, kind of looks like Stardew Valley. And if you're interested, if you pay $50 for it, you get to like make a chicken
Oh,
in the
like
game.
design one?
Yeah, you'll design one.
That's hilarious.
And it's literally right there. And I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I'm like gonna make sure the thing happens. I'll pay off whatever's left. I don't know why I looked at this. I'm like, I need this. Like it's just for PC, and you just kind of click around and just
But that seems like
make
a fun one when you're like, man, because if you get like me, when you have 80,000 games going, you're like, I don't know what to play. That sounds like a fun one to be like, I'm gonna play this one until I like decide what I want to play.
Yeah. And it's something you can also just watch a show while you play it. There's not a lot of high stakes. That's like I play RuneScape a lot when I'm watching something just because there's not high stakes for what I'm doing. So I don't have to sit there and be immersed in the story or make sure combat, keep an eye on my stats. No, I don't need to do that.
I've died I don't know how many times in video games because I get distracted by watching whatever my wife's watching on TV, and then
Mm-hmm.
I look back and I'm just like, oh crap.
So let's segue with the watching of the wife and the TV and Witcher 3. I found a funny article that I just thought, us we would really appreciate. The Witcher Season 3 is paused, so Geralt tinkers with his PC. So, Witcher Season 3 production is delayed due to COVID.
Get over it. Give
So,
me my season 3.
so Geralt has time to play about with some new PC upgrades. What's in the Henry Cavill PC now?
Is
So,
he still doing that?
so I'm gonna just read through the whole article.
God, he
It's
really is
well,
the king of nerds.
he is the king of nerds. It's well established that Superman and The Witcher Season 3 actor Henry Cavill is a big geek, whether it's nerding over Warhammer or declaring that the PC is the best platform for gaming.
Okay,
And then,
everybody can have their one flaw, I guess.
and then in parentheses, it is, he's right, you know. He's now back with some fresh Henry Cavill PC upgrades, which may have something to do with The Witcher Netflix shutting down production due to COVID, right? So the first batch of bad news due to an unspecified outbreak of COVID-19, The Witcher Season 3 has been paused for production and will be up and running as soon as it's safe to do so. Safe to do so. Season 3 began filming in April 2022 and features several new characters. So this means that Geralt himself, Henry Cavill, has a little time on his hands and is choosing to upgrade his PC once again after building himself one back in 2020. As Cavill notes on Instagram, my AIO cooler decided to give up on me due to transit and the absurd heat wave in the UK recently. So
Is
while
that where
replacing it,
does he live in the UK, or is that just where they're filming?
that I don't know. It's going to be one or the other. He is like not like American. Like for Superman, like that's
I thought he was Canadian.
he has an accent, a very thick accent of, I think it's close to British accent.
Really? Okay. I knew he wasn't from the US. All right, I'm distracting. That doesn't matter. Also, this is the type of text I get. I have to interject.
I got it too.
Hehehe. Oh, you did?
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah. Hehehe. Hack the mainframe, motherfuckers. But now I forgot how to hook it up for tomorrow. That is from my wife who works in IT. So it's going to be a fun day today.
She got in, hacked the mainframe, but it was like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
That's why you
She's
need
like, now I don't know how to
That's why you need lined paper and a pencil right next to you at all time, writing step by step, because I forget all the time too. Okay. So the heat wave, okay? So while replacing it, he says, I decided to upgrade my fans as well. Cavill seems to have gone with a set of 4 Noctua fans, which are some of the best CPU coolers around, so it's a good choice. I still have 2 more on the way to complete the set, he adds, but I became enormously impatient and installed the ones I had anyways. Look, he's impatient like us.
He's like, I just want a game.
As for those wondering why the temperature still shows a surprisingly high 64 degrees for the CPU and 68 degrees for the GPU, Cavill says, don't worry, those temps are in-game. We reached out to Henry and asked what game he was playing because we really need to know. Don't leave us hanging like that, S-Man. And that's the end of the article. So they reached out to ask him, okay, what game were you playing that did that? Because we're all just curious.
I'm kind of surprised he's doing all this himself. Like, he's super rich.
He could pay someone to do that.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I'm building my own PC.
I mean,
I like
if it's what you like to do, it's probably something for him to
be able to that escape.
Yeah.
As we talked about last episode, that escapism. That's what he uses it on.
He's Superman. He's Geralt. He was in one of the Mission Impossible movies. I think he's
the one
been
where
in others.
You know, like cocks his little sleeve cuffs. You know what I'm talking about? The little cufflinks. He's like a shotgun.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't.
No, that was in Mission Impossible. Yeah, there was definitely a scene when he's fighting Tom Cruise, and I only have seen this scene, and he has his sleeve cuffs, and he like rolls them up, but the way he does it, it almost looks like he's like racking a shell in a shotgun, like.
He probably did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, and then he just
time to load these guns, bitches.
Yeah, and then just smacks the crap out of Tom Cruise.
Good.
Yeah, good. Everyone needs to do that once in a while. Just smack the crap out of Tom Cruise. All right, so we covered the indie games, the chicken game, cover the little little Witcher Geralt, Witcher 3
As you
PC
all know,
things.
he is our god in our denim cult.
He is our god in our denim cult. Um,
Oh, I have a fun little story.
okay.
I happened to mention at work that we do this podcast, and my boss was trying to be nice, and he's like, "Sure, I'll listen to an episode or something."
Oh
And I was
no.
like, "Oh God, don't do that. Oh God, you don't need to. Thank you." But
That's why you let no one
he looked at me.
know.
He's like, "Why do you talk crap on us?" And in my mind, I'm like, "I don't. I know I've talked crap on my work. I don't think I've talked crap on you guys." But at the same time,
That's
I was like, "I don't want to walk in and have you look at me and just like quickly avert your eyes," because I was like, "We've talked about some weird stuff on that show."
that is why you never ever ever bring it up to anyone like
He's like, "I like weird stuff," and I immediately went to. I was like, "We did a Smash or Pass episode," and he looked at me and I was like, "But it was all a bunch of like anime and weird characters and stuff." I looked him down the eye. I was like, "We did the Xenomorph from Alien," and he just, he just, I don't know. I was like, I can't tell if he finds that funny or if I'm about to get fired.
that's why you never hear anything about work ever. And I'm like, I mean, you do your own thing. I ain't your mom, but yeah, that's why. Like, people I talk to, people like in the dating realm, they do not know this is a thing, and they will not know until like
Oh, that's gonna be my test when
after
you.
our wedding night. I'm like,
No, you're gonna.
I'm just like, I just gotta let you know, I on the side as just a little hobby, I do a podcast. So like,
No,
gross.
one of these days you're gonna be dating for like a year. You're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna go out for a double date. I'm gonna meet her. She's just gonna be like, oh, so like, how did you and Brandon meet? And I'm just gonna look at you, and I'm gonna look back, and I'm just gonna hold up my phone, and it's gonna have our list. Just gonna tap it, and it's just gonna play one of our episodes, and I'm gonna be
And I'm
like,
like,
I'm gonna see.
no.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, no. I'm gonna be like, we're gonna see how much you really like Brandon.
And it starts playing like one of the first few episodes when it was just me, and then you scroll up to one of the more cringier episodes of us, and then she's like,
Do you want to
I
hear the
thought you
word?
were someone different.
Do you want to hear the worst episode ever? And I'll just play our drunk episode. No.
This is why I just keep it like it's a hobby. If it, for
Oh.
some reason takes off and becomes the greatest thing ever since sliced bread, then okay, then I talk about it. But
Which,
like,
if you losers would ever start telling your friends about it, maybe it could, and then I, I would love to be able to dedicate 40 hours to doing nothing but playing games and looking up new things to tell you guys about.
in a
I
perf-
could come up with Henry Cavill articles,
yeah, that is true. I
or if
mean,
we get big enough, we could have. That would actually be a dream thing for me to actually like meet Henry Cavill and have him on a podcast episode.
oh my gosh,
But
that
we
would
would
be
need like
great.
millions of listeners, and actually have
Oh
to
yeah.
have some form of power in that world.
And authority. Yeah, and it's you gotta do it for yourself. You gotta do it because you enjoy it. You gotta do it because you like it. Because if you don't, and that is your only intent, you're gonna burn yourself out so quickly.
Yeah, but I feel like this is one thing I actually wouldn't care about working harder at and longer hours over.
Right, because you enjoy it. Like that's okay. Just
Yeah.
don't go into it like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million off of this, and I'm gonna work the algorithm because the
Well,
algorithm's
no.
all always changing, and people are gonna lose their minds if. Oh, my phone buzzed. Oh, it was no other message. I set it on a ledge and it buzzed and it caught my
Whoa.
attention.
I have 23 new alerts from Ring. That's not good.
From what?
Neighborhood Ring, the Ring app. Basically, when bad stuff happens, everybody freaks out and posts, so something must be going down.
Oh, like it's like in your area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like in your area. I just at work the one day there was and we're just gonna get sidetracked, but whatever. There was alerts like that going off. So that must be the app my one coworker uses, and that was just like there's a suspicious man wandering around a graveyard, and
Dude,
everyone was
leave them
posting.
alone. It's probably just a necromancer.
Just a necromancer, just kind of like necrophiliac, like whatever.
Okay, and we ain't cool with necrophilia. I said necromancer. Those are two different things.
What show was it where there was like
Necromancer is just a doctor with bad timing.
He really is. He really is. That's the best way to put it. I remember a show where there was like, I'm a necromancer, not a necrophiliac. I bring him back from the dead. I don't fuck him.
In Oblivion, there's I think it's not Anvil, Skingrad. The city. If you go in, was it Anvil? Doesn't matter. There's a dark elf there. She runs a shop. I think it's an alchemy shop. But if
Yeah.
you talk to her and she looks at, she goes, you ask her like why'd she leave Morrowind, or she's like, oh, I just had to like leave and blah blah blah. And then she's like, so just on an unrelated note, what's the fine here for necrophilia? And you tell her it's like 100 or 500 gold, and she's like, oh, that's nothing compared to what it is in Morrowind, and that's just it. Nothing else comes of it. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh.
That's why you're here.
Oh no! How would that? I never understood how that worked. It's probably like the kink of it is like the being dominant over something that literally cannot do anything. But how does one like? How does one? You know what I'm trying to get at?
Oh wait, are we actually going to talk about this?
Why not? We've just derailed. We'll come back to whatever the heck I
Okay,
was talking
so
about at some point.
there's definitely like an illegal black market of like not, rotting corpses, but like recently dead bodies. People for some reason want to.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, can you still like get blood into the member though, and
How that portion works, I don't know.
I'm curious about.
I don't think women are quite as messed up in the head as men. I think it's probably mostly just men. Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually dabbled in that world.
I've never. Wait, have you really never dabbled in necrophilia? Is that what you're telling me? You've never done? And that's something.
My name is Eric, and I state now that I have not, nor will I ever dabble in the world of necrophilia. For when I eventually try to get into politics.
I was gonna say, can we get a T-shirt with that in quotations that says it on it, and it just says Eric?
Eric, I don't dabble in.
I
would wear it. People just walk up and be like, "What the? What?" I'd be like, "I says I don't. I don't."
The "don't" has "I don't" is in big red letters, but like, why would you wear that? I'm like, it's a very.
I have to let people know my stance.
Because it's in a very important political stance right now.
This is what I'm running for mayor. This is my stance.
Yeah, I feel like people who really get into that are probably goth people and like people who work in morgues.
People who just want to be different, but they just to say, I don't know. Or you just have a really weird kink. There aren't many things that I will kink shame. That's one of them.
The thing is, yeah, there's the things that kink shame that either hurt other people or is desecration of something. Yeah, I don't hop on that. Speaking of kinks, in our local town, there's a big there's that school with that big stadium that they hold a lot of events at, like whether football or marching band stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The bench in front of it. I don't know if you know this, but this is pretty common knowledge that there is a gentleman who just sits there and just whacks off. And you can see here, like, this is the time of year you can see him there.
How has he not been arrested for pedophilia? Because that's technically right by some minors.
I know. I don't know. It's one of those, like, the crazy homeless type. He hangs there. I've seen him once, and other times, like, people message me, like, dude, he's at the bench again. Because I have a group of friends that work right in that area.
I don't like that the city is getting big enough that we're going to start having problems like that.
This man there was the one time I saw him, he was like standing with his arm on the bench facing it, sweatpants on, just going to town. And I was just like...
Do you think he's on drugs? Or do you think he is just that confident? Or just doesn't care that much?
You know what? I think it's more line of confident and doesn't care. Because it's this... You look at the guy, and he doesn't have a lot going for him. I'm not saying he's hideous, but he's older, a little fatter, let himself go a little. But
is there like a picture on the bench? I'm curious about
the
what...
picture on the bench is just like for some like kind of insurance agency in town. Like it's not anything on the bench. That's his favorite spot.
But that's so weird. How does he not get like performance anxiety?
I don't know. He's a champ. But the thing is that he just pops up there every so often, and I'm like, the police have to be aware.
They probably have bigger things to worry about.
Right. And then if they had dealt with him, they probably give him a fine. And then they're just like, oh, this man's homeless.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
They're like, he's going to do it in our cruiser. We don't want to.
So he's just sitting there at the bench, and this is an intersection. Big intersection in town.
Yeah, I know. I know where you're talking about. This is like one of our biggest intersections.
Yeah,
like,
and you're just driving by and you just see... like just going to town, And like, you know, people.
Yeah, I love insurance. Insurance really gets me going. Insurance, are you the top seller in the area? Yeah.
And that
Sell me the insurance.
sell me insurance, and then blast his load on there and then leaves.
What's my deductible?
his kick is actually just
Oh my
insurance
gosh, it's
companies.
terrible.
It's not being in public. It's not that. It's just insurance companies.
I really hope. I mean, I hope he's not hurting anybody. But Mommy, what's that man doing?
Walks on by, sees it. It's like, oh, Timmy, we need to go. And just as they're running, like trying to get away from, they just hear, and it keeps getting worse and worse. The fact I could just pull out that sound on command.
This city's a trash hole.
It really, really is. But it's it's like one of those trash holes that like, it's my trash hole. I'll make fun of it, but if someone's like, oh, that place is terrible, I'm like, whoa.
I mean, I would probably agree with them.
I would agree with them, but I'm like, well, you take that back. That's like the sibling
There's a
thing.
t-shirt.
I can pick on my sibling.
I can't, man.
Yeah, you were about the doxes. That's why I'm just talking over
There's a
you.
t-shirt that somebody made about it, but I can't.
Yeah, you'll tell me after. No more doxing, because you're trying to dox yourself and get everyone in trouble and or dead.
My address is.
My address is, and this is my PIN number.
Here's my personal phone number if you want to contact me.
I was just going to say, it's that situation where if your sibling gets picked on, you'll stand up for them like in school. But if, you know, you yourself is allowed to pick on your sibling.
You don't get to break his nose. Only I get to break their nose.
That's it. Exactly that. And that's what I'm saying. Like our city, it's like, I can make fun of it. You can't make fun of it. You get out of here with that. Even though everything you said is 100% correct and I agree with you, you're not allowed to say it. You don't have the, you know, the pass card, you know, you don't have the pass to talk bad about my town, even though it is pretty terrible. Yeah, so
they're getting some things better.
They are getting some things better. Like I wanted to share this story today, the dispensary story. So recently, I have in my ways and going to doctors and confirming some things, I've gained a card for the medical Mary Jane.
So you're gonna buy some for me now, right?
No. This is
buy me everything.
Buy you everything.
I need it, man.
My situation is sleepy at night. My brain can't shut off, and I, you know, want something that doesn't have me drowsy in the morning when I wake up, because you don't get the same effects if you take NyQuil or stuff like that.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, you can take melatonin. They have that sleepy time tea. There's all this stuff you can do. And I'm like, yeah, but then I can't wake up in the morning.
That's the issue. And melatonin's supposed to get you just to sleep, but in my situation, every time I wake up groggy, and you know, since I got this, and I'm just getting little capsules, like just as a pill you take before bed. It works great. Not going to do too much into it, but I thought the story of me entering into this dispensary was so. All right, I want you to kind of think, what is your idea of, like, if you were walking a dispensary, what would the staff look like? I want your take.
So if it's an actual like medical dispensary, I actually think they'd be kind of nerdy, but like professional nerdy. That's actually what I think. Because everybody's like, oh, it's going to be a bunch of stoners. I'm like, no, that would be like a pot farm, like where it's just being grown. But like in an actual dispensary, I feel like it would be a bit more of a professional, kind of like fake, happy customer service side of things.
You were correct in the former, I believe.
Like just a bunch of stoners?
When I go in there, there's a guy. So the place I went into, and this isn't really like, this ain't necessarily my background. Dabbled with it in college, but you know, it's just one of those things. So I go in there, and it's this tiny room with one door, and the door is like code locked. I'm like, what the heck? And the guy sitting behind the desk is wearing a jersey, tatted up, you know, tattoo sleeves. The guy was super cool, don't get me wrong, but he was like, what's going on, brother? like the surfer.
Get out of here, you Cali transport. Transplant. I'm sorry.
Transport. And the guy was just like, so, dude, what's going on, man? Like, it's just like the surfer vibe. I'm not going to do that thing the whole time, and I was just like, hey, I have this, and I showed it to him. It's like, yeah, sweet, man. You ever register with us? And I was like, no, I haven't. It's like, oh, let me get you in our system, bro. And that, I'm just like, this. like is this a joke? Is this like because like everyone is expecting that is the type of people, and like you said, I was thinking like I'm not.
Hi, have you shopped with us before?
Yes,
No? Okay. I just need to get a
please.
little bit of your information and then we'll get you all set up to
I was
go.
like, please come on in. And there's like someone in like a white gown holding their hands almost like in a prayer stance, bald head in the future floating on a disc, like next to you. It's like, yes, this is our dispensary. Please come this way. I will
I'm
show you
really
our
also
finest
waiting.
products.
I'm waiting for you to tell me that like when you go through the door to like see all the product that it's like an old school stoner movie where you like open it up and it's just the golden rays come out and it's just as far as the eye can see, just jars and jars of weed everywhere.
I wish, but a part of me really wants to go to all the little spots in town just to look and see what they look like. But so after I do that, and the guy was just like, it's like, oh man, Ralph, how you doing, bro? And a guy comes and is like, I'm doing, man. He's like, can we scan your card real quick? Scans it, and the door just opens. It's like, ding, green light comes on, and he goes in, and I'm like trying to look in there. It's the guy's walking. I'm like, what's going on in there? And the guy's like, oh, hold tight, little man. We gotta get you in our system. And once everything went through,
Oh,
it
jeez.
was fine. And then he's like, all right. He's like, here, bro, scan your card. And I scanned it, and the green light came on. I'm like, I don't know what's on the other side of that door. I'm not ready. So I open it. And it's actually real kind of modern, real nice. There's like a display case with just some product. And then there's just a big old desk, and everything's kept in the back. And you just go to this iPad and just boop around and select what you need. So I just walk in. Of course, I'm wearing my RuneScape hoodie.
Yes.
Excuse me, my eyes are up here with all the 99 stats. I'm walking in. I just feel like whenever I walk into a situation like that, a situation I'm not used to, I feel like SpongeBob. I feel like I wandered in like with the pants hiked up, and I'm just like, I'm new here, and everyone's like, we couldn't tell, dude. Like, so I was like, hi, and this person came up. It's like, oh, hey, what's going on? And this girl, alternative haircut. All of them super nice. So this is not a negative thing. I'm just describing how they look. Tattoos all up the side. And they're just like, you ever shop with us before? Are you familiar with it? So I'm like, kind of familiar. So like, all right, I'm gonna just give you you know, the whole rundown and everything. And then everyone behind the counter was like, how do I put this? Everyone behind the counter was like all the GameStop employees you ever see, but they're just open that they smoke weed. Like that is the
I mean,
only
because they work
difference.
in a dispensary.
Yeah, yeah,
They're clearly like,
yeah. And the lady was super knowledgeable, and I just showed them like, all right, this is what
oh,
the doctor said.
can I put a pause on this?
Hey, gamer. I'm just taking a second to check in on you. You see, the last time your mom and I were hanging out, she may have subtly dropped the hint that you're not really sure how to support the podcast. And honestly, when I walked out of her room only wearing a bath towel and we locked eyes, I could see it on your face. There's quite a few ways you can support the podcast. You can find us on Twitter at sure_podcast, over on Instagram, it sure is a podcast, YouTube, and TikTok. It sure is a podcast. That's all you gotta look up. And then TikTok is for you Zoomers out there, because I post some real stupid shit there. For Eric and I, you listening is probably just one of the best things in the world. But if you do want to support us, those are ways you can. Also, just tell a friend that, hey, we listened to a terrible podcast, you should hop in on this. Also, if you want to support us monetarily, whatever one that makes you give us money, you can go on over to www.buymeacoffee.com/ISIA podcast. There you can drop us a few bucks and be on your way. But like I said earlier, just you guys listening is really enough for us.
People behind the counter.
Yeah, people behind the counter. All of them were just like the GameStop employees, but it was just clear that you're like, oh, yes, you do smoke weed. Instead of looking at the GameStop employee and going, do you smoke weed? You just look at them and you do smoke weed.
Instead of, do you smoke weed? It's what kind do you smoke?
What kind? What strand? Yeah, and they helped me out. I gave them the doctor saying like, this is what I'm looking for, a sleep aid just to support me, just to falling asleep and saying, oh yeah, this. And everything went fine, but it was just like you said, that stereotype. It was not that futuristic, like everything is like, it's the perfect society in there, floating like people in robes. It's like,
You have reached enlightenment.
here, take this. And what was interesting, I asked him about, like, do you have a, there's an official doctor they have on staff,
Yeah, I
and
think they
can
have.
that they can contact, and she was explaining, it's like, yeah, this is just for the older folks. Like, I want the doctor's approval, and then the doctor comes out and says the same exact thing the person just did, but it came from someone that looked professional. So like, all right, I believe you, even though the person who
Friggin'
just
old people.
yeah.
I have I don't want to dox them too much. So I have a family member who works in like a skincare facility. She went to school for a very long time.
For dermatology, is that what it is?
Yes. So but it's yeah. She's very smart, very hard worker, and like she does a lot of the procedures, and a lot of people come in, they're like, "No, we want the doctor to do it, not you." And she's like, "The doctor hasn't done this in like 5 years. I do this daily." She's like, "You want me, not the doctor."
I feel like if they put a person in that position, they should be qualified and know enough. Like, hey, I know what I'm doing. It's okay.
Well, she
You'll be
does,
fine.
and I was like, "That's so." No, I want the person who does it daily. If the doctor has to do something, that means it's probably pretty bad.
Like the person didn't show up, or something happened to that person on their lunch break.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it funny that everybody's like, "No, the doctor has to do it." I'm like, I could probably diagnose myself with Google and figure out my own treatment. I'm not. Doctors are important in our society, but they're not gods, and old people still think they're gods.
Definitely. Yeah, a lot of stuff you can do it yourself with the access to the internet, because the internet does have some really awesome benefits, but also like doctors are good for, okay, if my leg or a limb or a finger
They're
just got cut off, all right, that's the people I go
Yeah,
to.
and they're also I don't want
If I have a
to.
tummy ache, I'm not going to the doctor.
Well, and that's the thing is I don't want to make it sound like we don't need They're very good at diagnosing. They help catch a lot of stuff. You should
Also, birthing babies.
birthing babies. You should all go and have get a what is it, PCP, primary care provider. Have somebody you go to annually for a checkup. I'm just saying that like the old people going in like, I'm not gonna get this weed unless the doctor says it's okay. It's
And
like,
then the doctor comes out and they're like, it's okay. Then the person's like, all right, it's okay now.
you have to talk to a doctor before you can get the card anyways.
Yeah.
Why do you need secondary validation?
Because some people just need that extra level of validation.
Your 14-year-old grandson or granddaughter is out there smoking it just because it's fun and you're worried. Now, there are reasons why I suppose that you can be worried, but just shut up and smoke it. Stop being an old...
Shut up and smoke it!
Yeah, really. Stop being a... I actually
old
don't have...
person.
Yes, I was trying to think of like an age-appropriate thing, and
We'll just go old person. But that's what that dispenser is like. I would like to check out the other one just to see what they look like. I'm like, I have a card. Can I just see what it looks like? I want to find the one that is like you have ascended and it's just like people floating around on hover chairs and
just go in, just buy a dime bag or something, just so you can see what's there.
Exactly. That's what you're thinking. It's like, it's all like in fancy packaging, fancy little cartridges and stuff. It's not just like they give you a bag, like, here, bro, like, in a Walmart bag. That's not the case.
You go up to the counter and you're just like, hey guys, I kind of want to relive my youth a little bit. Can one of you put this in like a sandwich baggie and bring it around back to me?
They're like, what do you mean?
There's like,
we can just
no.
hand it to you. It's
You're like, yeah, but like,
no,
just pour it into the bag.
Just put it into the bag and just hand it to me out back. And they're just like, what? No, we can't do that. Please. So then you create a whole situation that gets the cops involved just because you want it, like, you're getting it legally, but you just want to relive your childhood.
Go to your friend's sketchy neighbor's house to like buy it. You're like 16 and they're 40 and you're buying.
Not
that I ever did that in high school. That's
I would never do that. Never. So in that scenario, the cop shows up and you're like, yes. After they hand it to me, can you chase me?
Yeah.
And the cop's like, dude, you're causing a disturbance. Just take your stuff and leave.
Dude, I'm not even here to arrest you. Just take it and go.
It's like, no, this will work out great. This will be fine. So I want you just to chase me. I was
Frisk
like,
me.
Oh, God!
Frisk me, but don't find it.
And then I'm going to go tell all my friends, and the officer's like, how old are you? You're like, and the guy's like, 34.
Just don't worry about it, officer.
Just let me relive my childhood. I
don't have a lot going for me. Just let me have this.
Yeah, and there is stuff for like, that I did ask him, like, is there, I know a lot of people use it just to like mellow out. I'm like, is there stuff for the day? And it's like, oh yeah, this brand of stuff helps you focus. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, no, I can't go. Not yet. Not yet. Sleep is
Helps
the
you
issue.
focus?
Focus, yeah. And
What?
there was a huge explanation, and I can like literally just stroll in there and be like, all right, remember what you said about that? Can you say it into this phone? Because my friend's curious. Because it's actually, now I don't know a lot about it, but she seemed very intelligent on like actual the background of it and like the science behind it, instead of just like this will get you messed up. It's like, no, this is going to, like, if you take it and you're going for a run, or you're she actually used that as an example. You know what she also pointed out, which felt so good?
Hmm.
She was like, so you're going to want to get this brand, but by looking at you, you know, for us skinny people, it's kind of tough for us to get. And I was sitting there and I was like, and
You're
I
just like,
like,
show me your left hand. Show me your left hand. Are you married? Are you married? You're not married? Hi, my name's Brandon. Do you want to go out today?
and it just like my tear ducts filled up and just little streams, like, and she's like, are you all right? I'm like, I'm fine.
Just so much validation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And she was just explaining, it's like, it helps you, like, whatever you're doing, it helps you keep doing it and stay focused while doing it. So if you take it and you're sitting on the couch, you're going to sit on that couch all day. But if you're doing stuff around the house and you take it, you're actually going to like just be focused and just keep doing that and not get distracted, like that kind of
That's
stuff.
I
But
man, I really want to get I want them to just make it legal, but I'd like to get a card, but I have one extenuating circumstance that I don't think I can at the moment.
I'm in a situation where I was able to, and I I think the only reason I kind of want to share it is there's like there, you know, there's methods, and then the stigma is slowly dying off. Stigma's still
Oh
there,
yeah, I
but
don't. I guess I should clarify because after I said that, it made it sound like I have something against it. I have a
no, no, no.
concealed carry permit, and
Right,
I
right.
don't know if I'm allowed to have
Yeah,
both at the same
that
time.
is a very tricky thing,
Um,
and yeah, you just want to be careful because those laws are put in place to keep people safe. We won't go into that, but like, you get the reason why you're like, I'm not too sure, and
well, I mean,
I'm in a
like I
spot where I'm
still,
not like that.
yeah. So yeah. Hopefully they just make it recreationally legal here soon. But
I think it'll just get to a point, and that
uh
recreational stuff will be.
I mean, I want it, but there's so many old crusty people in the government who are still like, it's bad, and it's like you're a hypocrite because you probably go home and do worse stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely, but it's just something that you can get people to rally behind, because there still is that stigma, if that makes sense. Now, yeah, the place I went to, there was the stigma that everyone was just that kind of stoner culture, but they were super nice.
Yeah, but
Like,
I love that they just embrace that
oh, they
stereotype.
do. And
That's
when I was
awesome.
walking out, he's like, "You all good, dude?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good, man." It's like, "Oh, sweet, man." And so I told him, like, "Hey, take care, have a good one." It's like, "Hey, I'm selling weed. It's pretty good, man."
That's
And I was
awesome.
just like, go you, that confidence level, go you, man, like, you got that. And I think the stigma will slowly die down. But yeah, the
Most
place
people don't, yeah, most people don't care,
yeah,
so.
the place I went to, what I experienced was kind of that culture that was enjoyable. And then right after that, I went, got some groceries, and I almost ran over an old woman.
Completely sober.
Completely sober, nothing to
Enjoy-
do with it. It just happened right after. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, I can never do this and leave my house because this will happen. Because I'm sitting there in the parking lot, everything's loaded. I look at my two side view mirrors, and then I go look in the back mirror. And I swear, if I didn't look, I would have ran this person over, because there was nothing on either side, nothing I could see looking right to left. But I looked back, and I just see this white little puffball.
Oh, because
Just
she was so short, it was
She
probably
was
hard
so
to
short. It was
see.
just at the bottom of the window in my back. You could just see the white curly hair just slowly go. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I wait a minute and I look at this rearview mirror, and then like the one of my side mirrors, and I just see this little walker just appear from behind my vehicle, and she's just sitting there just going. She wasn't doing anything wrong, but if I wouldn't have looked, someone's grandma would be a pancake.
I have a similar story now that you bring that up. I also almost hit an old lady. However, I almost did it on purpose
Oh, okay. So
because I had to run somewhere. I was at a gas station and I was backing up, and I have a backup camera on my truck.
yes,
In
yes.
this, so I stopped, I waited, somebody's walking behind me. They walked and they stopped directly behind me. And I waited a second and I was like, okay, maybe they're just readjusting whatever they're carrying. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I was like, I'm on my lunch. I don't have all day to wait. So I was like, all right, maybe she doesn't realize I'm backing up. I don't understand how. I'm in my truck. It's huge. Compared to a person, how do you not know? But I was like, all right. So I backed up a little bit. Yeah, I backed up a little bit, and then I was just like, and she still stood there. I was like, okay. So I was like, all right, I'm over this. So I just put it in. I backed up. I was like, I'm gonna bump her. I don't care. I'm over this. I'm not waiting. I was in a very bad mood.
What, was she like in a walker? Was she just
No, she was just standing there in the middle of the parking lot, not on a sidewalk, nothing, in the middle of a gas station parking lot behind my truck. And I was getting mad. I must have been like 3 inches, and I think she felt the exhaust on her. And then she looked up and like scurried out of the way. I was like, you idiot. Why would you stop here? What ignorant part of you decided to stop in the middle of a parking lot? Even if I'm not pulling out, other people are driving through. What? How stupid are you to stop there?
Probably someone lost their grandma.
Mind you all,
she got out of the car and just started wandering around. They're like, Grandma, no!
I was fully mobile. When I say older, I would say probably like 50s-ish. Like fully mobile.
Oh, so not like complete grandma.
Not like a 70-year-old woman, just older, and she just stopped. And
was she larger?
No.
What the heck?
And here's the thing that annoys me is it probably made it sound like this is like a 20-second ordeal. No, I was sitting there for minutes. Like, what are you doing on your phone? Just being a jackass. Oh, I was mad.
So she was on her phone?
I couldn't tell. I'm going to assume she was on her phone because she was facing away from me.
That would be the only thing that makes sense.
But yeah, I was like, are you going to sit behind somebody and eat? It annoyed me.
Old people are just some old people are national treasures. Some old people are just that little skin tab that you need to remove.
I was like, but why in a parking lot? I was hung up on this for the rest of the day. I'm like, why would you stand there in the middle of a parking lot with I don't know if you know where I work, but it's an incredibly busy one.
I know the area.
Incredibly busy.
Like I know the general area, so yeah, it's busy.
I was like, why? What possesses you to do this?
She had to play some Candy Crush. God dang it, that's her American right.
Oh, I just got angry all over it again. That's all. I'm gonna just play my Candy Crush right here. I'm just
right here in the middle of the street. I'll play Candy Crush.
I was trying to be nice because I didn't want to like honk the horn and like be a jerk about it, but I'm
gonna sit here and crush this cussy. That's candy and pussy put together.
Oh, yeah.
All right, just in case you didn't know.
I'm gonna eat this cussy right now.
It's gonna be delicious.
Oh, no.
Old lady, yeah.
Just let me pop these dentures. All right, too far.
Don't
I did
pop
it to
the
myself.
Dentures, though. You take those out.
That's what I said. Pop the dentures out. But
Oh,
I had to stop.
Pop the dentures in.
Yeah, that was a visual. I didn't.
No, Grandma, take those out, girl.
I am part of a Facebook group that I think it's called Things We Know We Shouldn't Laugh At But Still Do. And It's a lot of messed up things. And one of them was like when grandma can't pay the rent and it's a grandma popping her dentures out. And I was like,
I've seen that meme.
I was like, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
There's another terrible group online. It's a Reddit group.
I said terrible group, not like borderline evil.
Yeah. It's what the group's official name. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's like I think it's kind of really dark. It's like Alzheimer's group, something on that line. And every day they post this.
Oh God.
They post the same Garfield comic. And they're just like, "Hey guys, have you seen this one yet?"
That's terrible.
It is that one. That's something like I'll chuckle at, but I feel really bad about it. My favorite thing on the internet in the world is I think it's Garfield without Garfield. So it's every comic panel of the Garfield series, but someone went through and took out Garfield, like what he was saying, his presence. So it's just John Arbuckle talking to himself, and it's just this descent into madness. Because you're looking at him and he's like complaining about something about the cat, and there's 2 panels of him just staring there. Because all the Garfield comics were 3 panels for the most part. Yep. Yeah, and it's just John Arbuckle standing there just he says one thing, and then the next 2 panels is him just staring at a wall. And it's just Like, that is something that just gets me
That's
to my core. Like,
hilarious.
I think it is the funniest thing, which is bad. I think it's the funniest thing. But stuff like, I have a weird sense of humor.
Sometimes, every once in a while, yeah, something like that'll just get you though.
It'll
Probably
just,
because it's unexpected. It's funny in a way you just weren't. It catches you off guard.
it really does because it's how do I explain it? It's when the joke isn't funny, but you run it into the ground so much that it becomes funny.
The level of effort that went into removing it from every comic strip. That.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you could just sit there and scroll through all of it. There was another podcast I was listening to. They were talking about this video that is 4 hours and 30 minutes long, and it is one man telling the same joke over and over and over until the 4 hour 30 minute mark, and then the last 10 minutes is just complete chaos. And the rules of it is how he was explaining it is like, okay, when you start watching it, you have to watch it. You can't be under any influence. You have to be sober. You cannot see how long it is, and you cannot
Yeah, but who
ask.
has 4 hours to just sit there and
And
watch
it's just the
that?
guy just there saying, "I've had sex 5 times." Then there's a pause, and he goes, "I've had sex 30 times," and it's just that for 4 hours, and
I
and
don't.
that's the thing. Like, I found the video. I'm not bold enough to watch it yet, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, that is something like I'm gonna archive that. If I, one day I'm like, I don't feel so good, and if with a terminal disease, then I'm gonna be popping that thing on and just watching it. I'm in the hospital and people are like, "What is this? What? This is
I've
all
had
you've watched?"
sex 7 times.
I've
I've
had.
had sex 200 times. Just for 4 hours. They're like, is he? Should he be in a mental hospital?
We should probably move him to the psych ward at this
Yeah,
point.
you're just like, no, I have to finish this video.
Yeah, and then yeah, at the very end, it just goes complete chaos from what I hear. Like, I haven't watched it; I've just heard this from word of mouth. But that's right up my alley in the sense of humor department.
Hmm. I haven't watched a really good funny movie in a while. As
Well,
after we're talking about
a lot of funny
comedy,
movies were all just. Gosh, when's the last comedy that came out? That was
like a big comedy, a lot of
yeah,
them are like either straight to streaming or they're kind of low key.
like those like independent films or like the Sundance
Yeah,
Festival film like that.
I've
Because I remember there was that big time of, well, that big period of time where there were those raunchy comedies that they
mhm.
weren't necessarily fun. It was just like, this is a situation. Uh-oh, I have a boner. Ah! And everyone's like, whoa, boner.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one where like it was like laugh out loud funny. I don't know, I can't think of it.
And the only things I can think of are just like Adult Swim shows or like really just bizarre, dark cartoons. Like animations you find on like YouTube or something.
Mhm.
I can't think of any actual movie that makes me laugh like that. Now, certain TV shows will,
Even
but
TV shows, I don't know.
comedy
Maybe
is
that's my problem. There's not enough laughter in my life.
comedy is subjective.
I do kind of like dark humor, like really
Oh,
kind of dark,
dark humor.
messed up humor.
No, that is my favorite. That
Guys
is
that
my cup of tea.
There's definitely some guys at work who found that out, and then they show me stuff, and I'm like, "A, you're going to hell because I don't know where you found this, but I'm also going to hell because I laughed." But I mean, it's like dark, like
Dark humor that
it
teeters on.
teeters on like you probably shouldn't laugh. It's like don't let people know that you like laughed at that.
Is it one of those things like when you bring it up on your
Ah.
phone to show someone you put it in incognito mode?
I personally, I would, yes, incognito all the way. Get off work Wi-Fi, incognito mode. No record that I saw
That
this.
is my fear 100%, especially using work
Ah,
email for anything. My work, like computer and stuff, is never used for anything but work. If I'm looking something up, I pull out my phone and do it. And I'm
yeah.
not on their Wi-Fi because
I have my work email on my phone, but like that's it.
I feel like even that connection, there's like
I
if
know.
they really wanted to, they would go through systems but that would be like in a very concerning court situation where they have to search everything. But still, that just connection. I'm like, you can't. No. You need to be away from my stuff. And I had a coworker send me gosh, what was it? She sent me this really bizarre. commercial that what was it? What's the company that makes razors? Venus? Don't they make razors?
Yeah, for women, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. They had a whole little song and dance, and it was a commercial about pubes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and she sent it, and I'm like, that was pretty that was pretty funny. I had a friend who'd appreciate that, so my brain, it's like I'll look it up and I'll just send it to her because obviously it's a very specific thing. I'll find it real easy.
yeah.
This lady sends it to me on the work email, and I'm just looking at that. I see her name, I see
You
subject
just
was video, and you can get like a preview what's in there.
yeah.
I see the link. I'm like, I'm not touching that.
Delete, delete,
I
delete,
didn't even
delete,
delete
delete,
it.
delete, delete.
Only reason I saved it was in case, I don't know, if they want to kick her out or fire her or something. I'm like, look, she did a bad thing on my computer.
Blackmail, that's hilarious.
I have nothing against her, but if it, you know, for job's sake, if I have to throw anyone under that bus, I'll throw you under that bus for job's sake, just because I need money. Like,
Yeah, for real.
I'm just like flip over my computer, like, look, she's a bad person.
Did you ever see that there was a commercial? I think it was supposed to be for like vegetarian or veganism or something.
Okay.
But it was a really, I don't think it worked, but it was an ingenious way to go about it.
Okay.
So it was two different couples just going at it in the bedroom.
Okay.
And it was one, they're having like this crazy like
Wait, was this a commercial?
Yeah, I think it was a commercial or an ad. Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let
Maybe
me ask, was it foreign?
I honestly don't know. It was in English, I believe. Like the
Right.
text was. I don't think there was really much vocal, so I don't know.
Okay.
It might have
I'm
just
just
been
trying to
like
think, because I know
everywhere.
like Europe, anything that isn't the US, they can joke around about that in a commercial.
Oh, it was hilarious. I was like, dang, that was like an attack. Like
Okay.
that was hilarious. But
Okay,
it was
okay.
so there's like one couple, they're going at it and it is like hot, steamy. And you don't see anything obviously, but
All right, that was my next
they're
question.
switching around,
Right,
they're
but you hear
doing
the
it.
sound of
Oh no,
right?
she's like enjoying it and they're going at it, and then there's another couple and like they finish like real quick. And then it's just and the girl looks all disappointed and she like kicks the dude out and pans back over to the other room and these people are just going at it. They're having fun, still going at it.
Still going at
And
it.
then the dude like gets dressed and he's like sad and walking down the steps, and it goes back and they're still going at it in the other room. And this dude's walking by and it like I think a car drives by and a puddle hits him and he's like, oh, and it goes back and the people are still going at it. And then he's walking by. Oh, that's what it was. He like looks up and the guy who finished too quick looks up and the girl's throwing his clothes out the window at him and stuff. And he's like, oh. And so he keeps walking and the other people are still going at it, but they like flip around and the dude like they hit the window or something. An AC unit falls out, and the AC unit falls down and kills the guy on the ground who finished too quickly. And then it goes back to the people in the room who are still going at it, and they're like, "Don't die, go vegan," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is awesome!" They're like, if you go vegan, you can last longer and you won't die from finishing too quickly.
Oh my god.
That
was not the lesson I was expecting to learn today.
Exactly. It came out of nowhere, pun intended, but it was just like it caught me off guard. I was cracking up. Oh.
You ever see a very similar commercial, the Skittles wedding night commercial?
I don't think so.
It's like a straight on, just pretty much a porno. And it's like wedding dress, and you don't see anything, but they're just going to town, right? And it's just like, it's gonna happen, right? So she gets on the floor, and the guy just explodes in Skittles.
Oh yeah, I think I have.
Like at first I saw that, and I'm like, that is the funniest thing ever. And then I
Taste
thought about
the rainbow.
Yeah, it was Taste the Rainbow. And the thing was, I'm like, are you kidding me? A guy ejaculating, that was like the size of kidney stones, a little bigger. So a man ejaculating kidney stones, that would have to be so painful. He'd be like, just firing out these Skittles. Like,
we need more commercials like that. That's
his wiener would look like a Snap pea pod. You know, where the Snap peas, where you just see the little bumps of the peas in there, and then you pop it out, like, it'd just be, and he'd be like, oh my gosh, that would be painful.
I love how that's what you're caught up on, but like, we need more commercials like that again.
There was definitely a time when people got edgy with their commercials, and I missed that time.
You can
Especially
do
in the
edgy
80s and 90s. Like,
you can do edgy commercials without being like bad.
yeah,
It can
yeah.
be raunchy and a little funny without being degrading, but
Like in the 80s, 90s, I distinctly remember
oh,
pretty much what the commercial were telling you is like, you don't like Nintendo? Then go put a toothpick under your big toe and kick a brick wall.
oh,
That image, right? That's a pretty awful image.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they were telling you. It's like, if you don't play Sega, you're stupid.
Yeah, just shame. Shame will make people do a lot of things.
Yeah, you just shame the crap out of
Like
them.
after I watched that one commercial, I was like, why do I feel the urge to eat broccoli?
You're just shoveling it, and like your wife's
Eric,
looking at
those are
you,
frozen vegetables. It doesn't matter. I need the vegetables.
and you look at your AC unit, you're like,
Get rid of that unit. We're getting central air.
push it right out the window, and it like kills a rabbit. Just lands on him, and you just hear the little like.
Better you than me, rabbit. Better you than me.
I mean, rabbits. Oh my. Ugh, rabbits,
Oh, that was one thing
rabbits
too.
procreate way too fast for anyone's good.
I discovered, and I don't know why Skyrim does this, but you know they track how many rabbits you kill in Skyrim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I slaughter them all. My goal is to hit 100 one day.
What's your score at now?
Because I just restarted, I think I'm at like 1 or 2.
Oh, it's because you restarted 100.
Yeah. I got to get back up to respectable levels of rabbit murder.
Rabbits are friggin'. Like, whenever someone jokes around about they breed like rabbits, that is no joke. I had a family friend.
Oh, they're destroying my yard.
Oh yeah, they destroy everything. They got 2 rabbits, and by mistake one of them was male, and they didn't know that. So they have them in the pen, and the rabbit gives birth to a bunch of little babies. And they call the police. They're like, I thought these were 2 ladies. He gave us a pregnant rabbit. And they're looking through her records. They're like, oh no. It's like, that one's a boy. Get him out of there now. And it was only like a day after she had birth, right? So they get the boy out of there. And it was like, the little rabbits grew up a little bit. And she had another, like, it's that fast. And that's why they were like, get him out of there now. They refinanced.
He's too horny. Get him out.
Too horny. That was on TikTok. There was a challenge people were throwing out. It's like, if you get horny, go for a walk, a workout challenge. And the guy replies, he's like super sweaty walking. He's like, I don't know where I am. I've been walking for 6 days.
It's not going away. It's not working.
I'm still horny. I think I'm even more horny now. I think that's a good just closing the end of the episode on talking about horny rabbits. Yeah, I think
I don't know how we got there, but we got there.
We got there. I covered the stuff I wanted to. Can you hand me my copy of Anarchy Reigns so I don't accidentally leave it here?
Yeah.
Unless you actually want to borrow it and play it, in which you can, but I will have you
We'll have a video game night.
I have this library card I need you to fill out. Pretty much it says that you borrowed it, and then we'll put it in the sleeve so I know you have it.
Nah, we'll do a game night or something at some point.
I mean, like, seriously, you can borrow it. I have 4 copies and 2 more on the way.
No, what I'm actually thinking of is, we have that mutual event coming up in, I think, September?
Yes.
So while everybody else is like drinking and partying, you and I will just sneak off to another room and play a game.
Dude, yes, I'll bring this. Now, it is 1 player, but it is fun just to sit around, just monkey around in it. Yes, I think that's what we'll do. Because I'm at the point I don't want to drink. I can't drink a lot. I'm just
I mean, I can and I enjoy drinking, but in social situations, it's because I don't like social situations. So then it just makes it work. There's a fine line though, and I'm like, all right, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna have more. I want to keep this going because I'm being sociable. And then the next thing I know, it's just chaos and anarchy.
Absolute chaos and anarchy. Like Anarchy Reigns. All right. We'll see you in the next episode. We love you guys. Thank you for listening as always. Be safe. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.